All right. Hey there. Good morning, guys. I am meteorologist Ben Peine. It is Ben at 10. Thanks for joining me on my page, whether it is on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine here on Facebook, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, and extolmag.com/weather on the World Wide Web. We're live from the back deck this morning. Beautiful morning. Feels great. Had a little layer of clouds to start off with. We've got some passing high mid-level clouds and then some sunshine. Going to be a beautiful day again today. This is day 9 of dry conditions across the area. I think we'll make it day 10 tomorrow, maybe day 11 with dry conditions for Saturday before some big weekend changes. So that's kind of the big focus here. Strong fall front will be moving through Saturday night into Sunday morning. Could see a couple strong thunderstorms with this, and it's going to be kind of a windy weekend. And when we haven't had really very many windy days in a long time with this really quiet weather pattern that we've had across the area. So lots to talk about, as always, here on the show, and we'll get to some of your comments. We'll have your weather jokes, your weather history, all that good stuff. We're going to put the power of Starlink internet to the test as we look live here at a little layer of clouds off in the distance, but a mostly sunny sky with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera, fallstheohio.org. So again, a great start to the day here at 10:01. Thanks for joining the show. If you have any weather questions, weather comments, help us guide the show wherever you want it to go. If you're watching the replay, feel free to drop in, say hello as well, and let us know where you're watching from throughout southern Indiana or Kentucky. So there's the live look out there now. Again, a beautiful start to the day. Just been kind of watching the leaf cams here. This is Brown County Inn Hotel, Restaurant, and Bar. We stayed there maybe 6-7 years ago. Beautiful spot, obviously, but just a little live camera there in Brown County, Indiana, to keep track of how the leaves are looking across the area. That's at browncounty.com. And you can always head to extolmag.com for some weather resources. We've got our live stream up there right now. We've got a current temperature of 61 degrees here. There's a look at the currents on the top there. Almost no wind out here. There's an interactive radar, 3-day forecast, my brand new 7-day forecast up right there. The weather story with today's forecast just updated. Some other weather maps. You got your day 1, day 2 severe weather outlooks. The drought monitor updated today, every Thursday. It gets updated. So it has taken us out of the drought throughout our region here in southern Indiana and much of Kentucky, western Kentucky under still a level 1 drought. But we just have a little yellow. That's 0 out of 5. It just means abnormal dry. The more severe drought is up in northern Indiana into northwestern Ohio. So obviously the big amount of rainfall that we picked up, 10 days ago now, helped out our drought conditions across our area. So looking a lot better there. And again, you can get linked up to that anytime there at extolmag.com. And here's the big old interactive radar, which right now we're just taking a look at some of the weather parameters on there. And it looks like we're starting to head into the 60s throughout the area. And you can be your own meteorologist there. You can see there's watches and warnings, a lot of different layers that you can play with here. And you can see the closest rain is up in Iowa. As we expand out our view, there you can see temperatures all over the place. You've got a lightning layer. Looks like some busy weather around Alaska and the coast with a storm system out that way. But we remain pretty quiet over the next couple of days. Again, it's going to be Saturday, Sunday. We're going to be tracking those bigger changes for our area. So let's right off the bat also get you a look at the forecast. So if you're new to the show here at Ben at 10, we go about 45 minutes typically every day at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. We'll get your forecast off the bat, look at the current conditions. Then we'll dig deeper into the forecast data with those weather jokes and the weather history, 7-day forecast, all that good stuff. Then we dive deeper into the weather models and get a little nerdy for a while. And then we'll do the forecast recap and take a look at any of your comments. Again, drop in the comments if you have any weather questions and help us guide the show wherever you want to go. We can pull up whatever maps that you might want to see. So here's a look at the weather headlines for today. Dry through Saturday, it looks like now. So we'll have 80s on Saturday, close to record highs. The record high is 87 in Louisville. I don't think we'll get quite that warm, but into the 80s and breezy. South winds around 10 to 25. And then Saturday night into Sunday, we'll have the cold front move through. But there might be a couple strong thunderstorms with some gusty winds. The severe weather threat looks low for our area right now, looks higher off to our southwest. And then cool and windy with showers on Sunday. We could see some wind gusts around 30 to 40 miles per hour for Sunday. The play ball forecast today, 71 degrees for the high temperature at 4 p.m. And then shortly after the high temperature, we're back into the 60s and just a northeast breeze at around 5 to 10. And our rain chance today is at a 0. And just looking at a few of our comments here popping in here this morning as well. Oops, there we go. We've got Beverly Hagist, record amount of the number one comments ever from Beverly. Thanks for watching here. Good morning. A nice chill Thursday. Happy Friday Eve, October the 16th. And we've got Orlean Whitlow. Her birthday was yesterday. It's now 61 degrees there, 59 to start with in Hodgenville. How about a beautiful day? Yes, indeed. What a stretch of awesome October weather that we've had. I've got Desi looking at me over here, just watching the show. All right, we've got Dennis Gregory. Good morning from Bedford. Overcast here, but not fussing. Hey, speaking of that, we can go ahead and bring up the radar for you there and the satellite. So we do have a little layer. We're testing out the power of the star. Lasley with a good morning as well. And as we back out the radar and satellite, again, little layer of clouds here and there. These clouds should begin to thin out as we head into the afternoon if you're seeing some clouds now. But we've got some big breaks in the clouds as well. So I would say variably cloudy, technically, across the area. Lily and Lasley, again, good morning. Christian Walker, good morning to you up there in Carmel, Indiana. With the countdown continuing, 70 days until Christmas, 77 days until New Year's. The countdown continues. All right. Thanks, guys, for popping in the comments here this morning. A quick shout out to our partners here for allowing us to do what we do, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. It's Lyons Roofing, Lyons, family owned, right out of Memphis, Indiana. They've got you covered on both sides of the river, all throughout Metro Louisville. You can give them a shout, 812-294-3595. Or you can just head here to lionsroofingco.com. You can get free estimates right there. And you can find a whole lot more about the entire company and what they have to offer there. And played some golf with my buddy Michael Long yesterday up at Western Hills Country Club in Salem, Indiana. Got a little Wednesday scramble up there and actually shot pretty good. But his team won. So congrats to Michael Long. He's my insurance agent. If you want to get a quote, they've had some price reductions on the auto renewal. Tell them I sent you, 812-578-3072. Go to amfam.com and search Michael Long, and you'll find that page right there. Also, shout out to our partners here at Ivy Tech Community College. Locations is Sellersburg. They've got their, put it on the calendar, their Trunk or Treat Fest coming up October 30th, right before Halloween. Big event for them there. Obviously fun for the kiddos. But you can find a lot more about their campus, what they have to offer. And you can sign up for Tuesdays at the Tech here as well. Click on the Ivy Experience. You can find out more of what they have to offer. Just dozens of 2-year certifications, as we say, powering the workforce here in Southern Indiana. And our friends at Libs Paving, they've had a good stretch of weather to get a lot of paving done here, but they've got a career section. And Libs is a family-owned company out of Floyd's Knobs, the largest asphalt paving contractor around the region. And if you want an opportunity, they might still have some opportunities for you here to apply for, whether it's you, your family member, a friend, let them know there might be something for them. And again, just amazing conditions across the area this morning. Again, just a mixed sky, I'll say. We've got a little layer of some mid-level clouds here, sunshine there. A lot of these clouds are going to kind of fizzle out as we head through this afternoon. And it's just going to be a really pleasant day for all of us once again. Also, a reminder, too, if you ever want to join up with our team here with Extol Weather, Extol Media, reaching 1.5 million views over the last 28 days. So, of course, we can be your Southern Indiana megaphone and beyond throughout Louisville Metro, Kentucky as well. You can just reach out to me, Ben at extolmag.com or Jason at extolmag.com to learn more about what we have to offer for you as far as advertising and marketing. And if you just want to ask a weather question, I'm here for you for that as well. Speaking of the weather, again, we'll get right to it. Christian asking, how we doing this morning? We're doing great. Feels fantastic. I may, the rest of this week until we get that rain Sunday, kind of need to get some outdoor chores done, the winterizing. And while the weather is nice before it takes a turn, November, December, it's not going to get much better around here. And Christian is doing good this morning. Glad to hear it. All right, let's get into that forecast. So dry through Saturday, it looks like, through the daytime Saturdays. Saturday night into Sunday mornings when we have that rain and maybe some thunderstorms. Right now, the severe weather threat looks low for our area. And I want to say that there are so many crazy things going around the internet. There's scary maps, just depending on who you follow or whatever pops up in your social media feed. The maps are wild. The clickbait is wild. It is Wild West weather out there. So if there's one thing that I can do for you, we're not going to do that. We're just going to tell you straight up how the weather is going to be and really try to bulldoze the bull crap in the weather that's online. So just straight up weather here. I'm not trying to scare you at any point in time. All right, so cool, windy with some showers Sunday. So some of the wind gusts, it looks like Saturday, south wind ahead of the cold front gets us up into the 80s, a bit breezy Saturday as well. Behind that cold front, we're down to the 60s, so about a 20-degree drop in temperatures from Saturday to Sunday with some lingering rain showers on Sunday. Maybe kind of a raw day out there and some wind gusts around 30 to 40 miles per hour. We're not used to windy conditions. I think we're going to have a lot of acorns and leaves flying off the trees. Of course, we haven't hit peak color yet with the fall foliage. That'll be late this month and into early afternoon. Mary asking a guess about the first frost. So I would say it might end up being early November, but we'll take a look at the long range with the GFS here in just a second and see if we get any new cold spells trying to show up. But I didn't see anything terribly cold through the rest of this month. But again, good question there. And we'll look ahead here in just a second. Usually we do that around 10:20 to 10:30. We'll start to look at the longer range data. Again, that play ball forecast here for today, 71 degrees, mostly sunny this afternoon. After that high temperature mid-afternoon, dropping back into the 60s, might need that little extra layer if you've got some cross country or soccer or golf or whatever sport it is your kids or grandkids might be doing after school. Might want that little extra layer in case it gets just a little bit of a chill in the air as that sun angle lowers in the sky. A very glary time of year. The sun is just lower in the sky, so it just feels like it's always kind of in your face a lot of the day. All right. Christian asking, yes, you do. You still have rain in the forecast for your Sunday there, Christian. And again, we'll look at the weather model data here in just a second. How many days until? Only 3 days until our normal highs are in the 60s. And about that time, we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday will be in the 60s, right on time. Time change, 17 days, November 2nd, 5:42 p.m. sunsets. Thumbs down on that one. Average first flurries at about 30 days, about a month away. Typically mid-November is when we get our first flurries. Our normal highs go into the 50s, November 11th. So in 3 days, we go to average highs in the 60s. November 11th, we go down to our normal highs in the 50s. Thanksgiving in 42 days. Our weather history for today, crazy one here in 1780, the most deadly Western Hemisphere hurricane on record raged across the Caribbean. It killed 22,000 people on the islands of Martinique, St. Eustatius, in Barbados. Thousands more died at sea in 1780. 1942, the Midnapore cyclone struck India. Thousands of people perished and 10,000s of head of cattle were lost. In a horrific weather history today. 1989, across southern sections of central Indiana, severe thunderstorms knocked down trees, blew off a roof, caused street flooding. Anybody remember that? 1999, Hurricane Irene moved across the Florida Keys, producing heavy rain, strong winds, and high waves, a gust of 102 at Big Pine Key. 2004, a chain reaction accident on I-95 in White Marsh, Maryland, injured 49 people caused by the glare of sudden hail. That is crazy. Crazy weather history for today. All right, the weather jokes, not all that weather related, but here we go. If an old man refused to take a nap, like my dad, is he resisting arrest? Resisting arrest? If a cow doesn't produce milk, is it a milk dud or an utter failure? Humpty Dumpty is having a terrible winter, which sucks because he had a great fall. I'm trying to come up with a good vampire pun, but they all suck. There you go. There's your weather jokes. I think these are better than yesterday. Christian, I see your comment about hurricanes. There's nothing happening. Just that one system out in the middle of the Atlantic. We're past the peak of the hurricane season. We're getting these fronts to keep everything out in the Atlantic. Today's forecast, but we can take a peek a little bit later. Your forecast today for your Thursday, October the 16th, 71 degrees, a touch cooler, upper 60s, low 70s across the region, but keep enjoying it. Northeast winds at around 5 to 10, sunset at 7:03. And tonight's low with a mostly clear sky, getting a bit chilly. Might get a furnace kicking on here and there with lows in the 40s and just a very light breeze from the east. Our sunrise at 7:54. And your forecast for your Friday, it's going to be a fantastic Friday. 40s out the door, upper 60s at noon, and mid 70s tomorrow afternoon. So a little bit warmer than today and about 5 degrees above our normal high of 70, normal low of 50. Orleans, give me some confidence here. That's some funny jokes. Lillian Lasley, awesome jokes. Lillian said the jokes were good yesterday. Now they're awesome. All right, we're doing better today. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Here's the 7-day forecast here at 10:16 on your Thursday morning, 75 tomorrow. So big weekend changes, nearly a 20-degree drop in temperatures Saturday to Sunday. 80s Saturday. That 83 might be conservative. There could be some spots, especially in southern, southwestern Kentucky, might hit some mid to upper 80s. I've got that rain chance, but it's really for Saturday night and then into Sunday morning. It looks pretty wet Sunday morning. The storms likely will roll through during the overnight period and early Sunday morning. And so that might wake some of us up with some rumbles of thunder, but it doesn't look that impressive as far as severe weather for our area. It looks higher off to the southwest. We'll keep an eye on it as we get into the, tomorrow we'll have some high resolution weather model data that will time it out better. Just don't see a whole lot of energy for severe weather. There's a lot of wind energy. And real quick, I'll take a brief explainer with that. When you have a lot of shear, there's a low level jet that's going to come through Saturday night into Sunday, and it's going to give us some 30 to 40 mile per hour winds Sunday. But when you have a lot of wind and you don't have a lot of surface cape or fuel for the storms, it's just overly sheared. You get gusty winds, but not necessarily any kind of severe weather event. So some gusty thunderstorms will be possible. Low end severe weather threat for our area. There's higher levels of energy to the southwest of our area. So that's probably where we'll see a better chance of some severe weather. And Carolyn Bell saying, hey, hello, Ben. Looks like a great day to be outside. I want to thank you. Let's just thank Mother Nature here. This is day 9 of dry weather. Cheers to that. And it looks like we'll go day 10, maybe day 11 if Saturday stays dry as well. Yeah, Christian, it's looking pretty wet for you and windy for Sunday. Not looking so good for you there for that flying, unfortunately. 10:18, we are coming up to 10:20 where we typically start to look at, again, let me get rid of this and bring this up here, the weather model data. That's just another live look at the clear sky currently over downtown Louisville and look from the Clarksville and New Albany waterfront there. Beautiful conditions with temperatures now heading into the 60s. We'll go ahead and minimize that and let's go ahead and bring up the radar and satellite. So if you look closely, there is a little layer of clouds. It's cloudier west of I-65 right now and then sunnier off to the east. A lot of these clouds are just going to kind of dissipate today as we still have high pressure in control. As we expand out our view there, you can see the weather a little more unsettled off to the northwest of our area and still a beautiful day in store for us. All right, that is what's happening there. Let's go ahead and bring up some of the weather models and start looking ahead here. Get rid of that and bring up this. So I'll bring up the future radar here. It's not going to go out far enough because it would only go to Saturday morning with 48 hours. So it's not really going to show us much if we look at the NAM 3 kilometer. Again, we're going to be dry through much of the day Saturday. So this is going to take us 60 hours out actually to 2 p.m. Saturday. And you just really don't see anything happening. Out west, it looks like some showers over central Illinois and into Missouri. I'll bring up the NAM. This goes out a little bit farther. So this is at 2 p.m. Saturday. This model is a little bit quicker than the GFS and the European weather model. The GFS and the Euro keep the rain after midnight, really, going into Sunday morning. This one's a little more eager. This is at 5 p.m. and this is at 8 o'clock. But either way, it looks like Saturday night into Sunday morning is that time frame for our next good chance of some rain and some thunderstorms moving through the area. This is at 11 p.m. This is here at 2 a.m. They're not too far off. I'm not liking the look of the NAM, really. This is at 5 a.m. I just don't think it's done a good job of timing it out. This is what I'm saying. This is at 8 o'clock Sunday morning. And there you can see it for you there, Christian. Indianapolis has some showers there. This is at 11 o'clock. So the showery, breezy morning for Sunday with most of the rain during the overnight, and then trending drier as we head through Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. So strong front moving through. We'll go ahead and go back this up one more time and bring up the temperature map here. As far as storms, we'll bring up the, not the cloud cover, the most unstable Cape. So look at that out to our southwest. That is some explosive Cape out that direction. 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram of the convective available potential energy. It is less over our area, and that's good for us. As we go to 8 p.m., that's why the Storm Prediction Center is going to have the higher threat of severe weather off to our southwest, down towards Arkansas and Missouri. And then this is a look at, again, just way more energy for severe weather as that front moves through off to our southwest. With that said, we can bring up this Storm Prediction Center's map. They look at where severe weather might happen across the United States. That's their one big job, division of the National Weather Service. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to our friends at the National Weather Service. Of course, with the government shutdown, our friends there off of Smyrna Road in South Louisville, Oklahoma area are still working, putting out forecasts, monitoring the weather. If there's bad weather, this weekend or wherever across our region, they're still working without getting paid. So thank you to them. I know that's not an easy situation to be going through. So thanks to our friends out at our local Louisville National Weather Service. Big shout out to them. All right, so this is day one severe weather outlook. This is today, small risk out over Nebraska and into Kansas. We go to day two, so this will be your Friday. That severe risk out to our west, and it's a small one, level 1 out of 5 there over Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Day 3, this would be our Saturday, and a slight risk where, again, we saw that higher level of energy over Missouri and Arkansas. And then notice that we are in the green, much of southern Indiana and areas west of I-65. That's level 1 out of 5 in the severe weather risk category. So that is a low level risk of severe weather here for us. So Shayna Phillips, Saturday morning looks dry. It looks like Saturday night before that rain would move into your area. And that's what we're talking about right now here, Christian. This is the outlook for severe weather. And you can see that higher threat Saturday and Saturday night is in southern Missouri and into Arkansas. That is our Saturday risk of severe weather. And for Shayna, we can bring up the weather models here in case you missed that just a second ago. Bring up the future radar there for your, not what I wanted there. The future radar. There we go. Clicking buttons is hard to do sometimes. All right. Weather model. So I'm going to put this, I'm jumping way ahead here, to our Saturday morning. There you go. Yeah, just level 1, Christian. So this is Saturday morning there for you, Shayna. Hope I'm saying it right. Might be Shayna. So that's your Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Here's 11 a.m. So it looks like you're dry there, and dry into the afternoon as well. So most of our Saturday is dry throughout the Hoosier State and the Commonwealth. So there we go. Now I'm going to bring up the GFS weather model. This is going to take us through the rest of the weekend. Oops, I wanted to go back to the NAM because I wanted to check out these temperatures. And we can look at wind gusts as well. That'll be interesting for Sunday. So big changes this weekend. That's what we're getting into right now. So this is showing the warmth out ahead of the front for Saturday. I think it's a little conservative. I think we're going to be a little warmer than that. I think we're going to be into the 80s Saturday afternoon. And then here comes the front. See the blue out west? Here it comes. This is 5 a.m., 8 a.m. Sunday. And here's that cool air coming across into Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. So that's showing rather cool air here coming in for Sunday. That's Sunday at 2 p.m. I think we'll top out in the low mid 60s for Sunday afternoon, and the winds will be a bit gusty as well. Here's a look at the wind gusts. Take a look at this, guys. We haven't been able to show this product in a long time because we haven't had much wind. We have such a quiet weather pattern. But this is a pretty strong front, this fall front that's going to be moving through. These are the wind gusts at 2 p.m. in the afternoon Sunday. So, if you want to winterize the pool so the leaves aren't flying in it, whatever you don't want flying around the yard Sunday, check out these wind gusts. These aren't with thunderstorms. This is just regular wind out there behind the front and cool wind as well. So this is showing anywhere from around 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts across the region, a little bit higher off to the north. Look at that, 45 gusts up here in east central Indiana. So this is a strong low-level jet that's going to produce these wind gusts. So this is all behind that front, rushing in. Been a while since we've had a really blustery day, and that's what looks like what we're going to have for Sunday with some leftover showers, clouds. Your pick day to be outside and get things done this weekend is going to be Saturday. You need to get that yard mowed. For me, I need to get the ladder out and start washing some windows and probably mowing, all that fun stuff. Sunday, blustery and wet at times. So those wind gusts pretty impressive. Let me clear that off. And then as we go into Sunday night, those winds will likely drop off a bit. So not good flying weather there for you, Christian. And Christian, always good to have that weather radio just in case, but thankfully severe weather threat looking pretty low for us at this point in time. All right, let's bring up the good old GFS weather model. It's also got really gusty conditions here for us for our Sunday, showing 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts. I'll back this up into our Saturday afternoon, which looks a little bit breezy, but not like our Sunday. Could have some 25 mile per hour gusts on Saturday. So a bit breezy out there. This is the wind gust map there for Saturday. We just looked at Sunday. And now I'm going to bring up a look at our GFS timing of the rain this weekend. All right, so this has that rain out to our west at 5 p.m. Saturday. This is Saturday's map. Look at all that rain out to the west. I think we'll probably pick up around a half inch to an inch of rainfall total Saturday night into Sunday. This is at 8 p.m. Storms out west. Also at nighttime, you typically lose that daytime heat energy. So nighttime, typically the storms aren't as strong. So again, very low end severe weather threat for our area. But again, just off above the trees, just off the deck, we've got a strong low-level jet. So if you can channel some of those winds to the ground, you can get some isolated damaging wind gusts. And the winds are going to be plain breezy as is Sunday after the storms move out. This is 11 p.m. Saturday night. Here is at 2 o'clock in the morning. So this could be kind of an overnight thing when we have the heaviest rain moving through. And then this is at 5 o'clock Sunday morning. And then here is leftover rain on the backside of this system with the winds whipping up Sunday. This is Sunday at 8 a.m. And notice the showers could continue here through about late morning, midday for Sunday, and then gradually trending drier Sunday afternoon. I hope, even though you notice it, even in 5 p.m. Sunday, it keeps some lingering showers. Hopefully they'll be moving out quicker than that, but not a great looking day Sunday. All right, so that system starts to pull out late Sunday off to the northeast. And then we're looking dry for our Monday. Monday just looks like a cool day. Temperatures topping out in the 60s. And it looks like we'll have lows. Check out our low temperatures here. We're going to be in the 40s tonight, but maybe even cooler than that Monday morning. So looking at some lower 40s here popping up on the map. So a little more nippy there Monday morning behind this front. And we're going to settle into a cooler weather pattern. Highs in the 60s much of next week, lows in the 40s. So this time of the year, you're just gradually stepping it down front by front. So we're getting a pretty strong front here, fall front, Saturday night, Sunday morning. Steps our climate down to the 60s from, we've had 70s rolling for a long time. Again, this is day 9 of dry weather in 70s. And so just stepping into those fall changes front by front. I think we'll have another front moving through next Tuesday, that just kind of reinforces the cool air across the area. All right, here we go. We're going to continue on into next week. And as we do that, we're going to start to head into, and as my neighbor Keith Hennessy says, at least it's better than that. That was out his front porch last winter. Who's ready for that? Who are the bots people out there? Bring on the snow. I'm not putting that up there to say we have any snow. I don't have any snow in the forecast. All right, so this is the 60s that we have across the area for Monday. Now let's bring back the precipitation. We'll look at the future radar here as another front looks to move through as we head into Tuesday, the 21st. Doesn't have a whole lot showing up. A little bit of rain moving through possibly Tuesday morning. The Canadian had more. European had a little bit of rain Tuesday morning too. They were all pretty good agreement with this front moving through Tuesday. But that should, again, reinforce the cool air that we have. And it could be pretty gusty as well on Tuesday. Notice some 20-mile-per-hour gusts here Tuesday. Getting into kind of a breezier weather pattern with these fronts moving into the region. That's showing 20 to 30-mile-per-hour gusts Tuesday afternoon. And our Tuesday afternoon temperatures looks like 60s here. Going into our Wednesday morning. Well, there's a 30, 39 at least. Trying to step down those temperatures gradually as we get deeper into our autumn season here and through our October. And into our Wednesday afternoon. Pretty cool looking. I don't have it quite that cool. I've got 64 going for the high temperature, but so there's kind of the overall weather pattern. Warmer southwest, cooler northeast. We're kind of in the middle of next week. Looking down the road here as we get, so now we're going into been on a limb. So the farther out we go, we're going out on a limb with that forecast. So let's take a peek here. This is the 22nd, this is next Wednesday. I'm going to take this into the 23rd morning. So next Thursday, a week from now. Just cool temperatures, 40s in the morning. And then it looks like likely some 60s in the afternoon. So actually pretty normal temperatures for this time of the year. The heat over the coast, the Gulf Coast, and chilly air north. We're kind of in the middle here in the Ohio Valley. So going into the 24th, that'd be next Friday. Looking a little bit on the cool side. So there you can see upper 50s, 60s across our region next Friday. And then going into our Saturday, there we go. Start to see upper 30s, low 40s on the 25th, Saturday morning. And then this is Saturday afternoon, some 60s. So there's a lot going on that weekend. My wife's birthday, IUS Fest. I'm sure there's other things going on, college football. So it looks we want some dry weather. This weekend looks like half and half. Saturday's looking pretty dry. Sunday looking pretty wet and windy for us. So this is our weather map. Saturday looks dry there. And then this is Sunday, also looking pretty dry. So not looking too bad here for our weekend of the 25th, 26th. And that would be our last weekend of October because the 1st and 2nd of November is the first weekend of November, and that's when we get our time change and our 5:42 p.m. sunset. So we're only 2 weekends away from the time change. That's pretty crazy. It's coming quick. All right, let's get back to the temperature and see if we can see any colder stuff down the road, and then we'll get your forecast recap here if you're popping on a little bit later. So what we're going to watch for is if we can see there's some cold air up there, guys. Look at that. Single digits in Alaska, northwestern Canada. Eventually, some of that will unlock. We're not going to get that cold, but modified chillier polar air eventually heading our direction. So we're going to see if any of that will dislodge and head our way as we look at the long run. This is the 27th. We're still on the mild side. Again, take a look here. Anything in the orange and yellow, I mean, that's going to be at or above normal. And then anything in the blue up here, that is going to be below normal. So those are the two different air masses that we're watching in the long range outlook. So we'll take this to the 28th. And we're still on the mild side here. 29th. Look at that temperature contrast there, right along the U.S.-Canada border. Now I'm going into the 30th of October. Has us on the warm side. But when you see a swirl, that means a low pressure system's developing and a cold front's developing, and then there's a swirl right here. So that means we're trying to get this dislodged. If the jet stream dives south, it will help dislodge that cold air. I was looking down the road here to the now we're going to get October 31st, Halloween time. Starting to see some of that cooler air dropping in, but not crazy. Those would be pretty normal temperatures still. Go ahead and back up our view here more. Really cold north, though. Now we're getting into the very late stages of the GFS weather model, 384 hours out to November 1st. And this is November 1st morning. Still not seeing the real cold air. So this goes back to the question. I think it was Mary that asked the question earlier. Where was that question? Okay, so Mary earlier asked, do you have a guess for the first frost? Might be November. Some point in November. Might be a late frost this time of the year. So maybe our mums and our flowers will be lasting a little bit longer. Christian is not a cold weather person, a warm weather fan. My stepmom Diana said, "Boo on the winds. He won't be able to fish." Yeah, it'd be a little bit windy out there on Summit Lake Sunday. I would avoid that. And Christian saying Halloween on Friday, October 31st. Be fun to have a Friday Halloween. John's in late. Hey, we're about to do the forecast recap as we just did the long range outlook. So we just finished up with, actually, we'll do the Climate Prediction Center and then we'll do the forecast recap here at 1040. Wow, we've been talking a lot. All right, back to the maps we go. And Beverly says, I remember in 1993, 94, we had snow on Halloween. We also, back in 2014, Halloween had some sleet. Maybe the last time I remember that. All right, so the Climate Prediction Center, they're looking down the road. It's the longer range outlook. This is the 6 to 10 day outlook. Christian, right now it doesn't look like we're going to be too terribly cold. So nothing crazy here with the Climate Prediction Center. It has us near normal temperatures. And the 8 to 14 day outlook. No extremes here. So looks like above normal, at or above normal, which would be probably 60s and 70s. Nothing crazy. No extremes for the rest of October. So October might just end up treating us pretty good overall. All right, that is it. That has been our long range outlook. And been on a limb. So let's do the forecast recap here, guys, and we'll wrap it up on a Thursday, October 16th. Dry through Saturday. Models are holding off that rain until Saturday night, Sunday morning. A line of some gusty thunderstorms are going to be possible. I think the threat of severe weather is low for us for now. We'll keep an eye on it. 80s ahead of the front and breezy Saturday. Maybe some wind gusts around 20, 25. And then behind that front, some lingering showers and windy Sunday, 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. Tale of two different stories here for the weekend. 20-degree temperature drop from Saturday to Sunday. And then partly sunny and mild today, 71 the high. And then right after that high temperature, that sun angle lowers and you're in the 60s. So if you have any plans this evening, maybe to stroll around the neighborhood, heading to your kids' after school practice or sporting event, may want that extra little layer. How many days until? 3 days until average highs in the 60s, and right on time we'll be in the 60s on Sunday. 17 days until that time change, so just a little over 2 weeks, 2 weekends from now. Not this weekend, not next weekend. The following weekend is the time change. Average first flurries in about a month, and Thanksgiving in 42 days. Here, there was a lot of weather history today. I'm going to post this right around noon today. Take a longer look at it, or you watch the replay as I talk longer about this. But the big ones here, the horrific ones, 22,000 people died there in the Caribbean with the deadliest Western Hemisphere hurricane, 1780. And then thousands died in another cyclone in India in 1942. And your weather jokes for today. If an old man like my dad refused to take a nap, is he resisting arrest? If a cow doesn't produce milk, is it a milk dud or an utter failure? Humpty Dumpty is having a terrible winter, which sucks because he had a great fall. I'm trying to come up with a good vampire pun, but they all suck. All right. Not too bad. Not necessarily weather related. Trying to keep them kind of autumn related. Your forecast today for your Thursday, October the 16th, high of 71 degrees, a touch cooler. Keep enjoying it. Northeast wind around 5 to 10, sunset at 7:03. Overnight lows in the 40s, might get that furnace kicking on. A reminder, too, you might want to replace your HVAC filters. And after a chilly start, 68 at noon and rebounding up to 75 tomorrow afternoon. Average high is 70, so about 5 degrees above that tomorrow. Average low is 50. 7:54 a.m. sunrise, 7:01 sunset. We're almost to those before 7 p.m. sunsets. And so dry through most of our Saturday night and Sunday rain. Could see about a half inch to an inch of rainfall out of that. And then breezy and cloudy, gloomy Sunday. I'll call it windy more than breezy. 30, 40 mile per hour winds Sunday. 66 the high, and lows down to the 40s Sunday night. That steps us down to a little cooler pattern with that strong fall front moving through Saturday night, Sunday morning, as our highs drop into the 60s next week with lows in the 40s. It looks like a little front will move through with a little rain chance early Tuesday. It could be a bit breezy next Tuesday into Wednesday as well. So as we get into this time of the year, we get more of these fall fronts. And as these fronts move through, starts to pick up the winds. And, the trees went through the drought, so I'm not sure how strong these leaves are and if they're going to start blowing off everywhere. So we might have might be blowing some leaves off the driveway and stuff early next week behind this storm system this weekend. That time of the year, it's fall. Everything's falling. It is what it is, as they say. So that was your forecast recap right there. And let me bring up something else. As we take one last look at the current conditions and what's happening outside. Here is another live look out there at the sunshine. We had some clouds kind of moving through this morning. It depends on your location, but there's also a lot of sunshine as well throughout the area. Here's a look at the radar view here at extolmag.com. And just a friendly reminder, you can go to extolmag.com/weather and grab our live stream, current conditions, 3-day forecast, 7-day forecast. I posted the weather story for today right there for your October the 16th. Day 1, Day 2, severe weather outlook. U.S. drought monitor updated today. We're out of the drought. And there is, again, the interactive radar with temperatures now making the way into the 60s. Shout out to our partners here, allowing us to do what we do. And thanks for you being a part of the weather family. And again, allowing us to do what we do. Lions Roofing, lionsroofingco.com. You can get a free estimate here online. They've got you covered both sides of the river throughout Louisville Metro, 812-294-3595. Hopefully we don't have any roof damage, but you might, just take a peek at the roof, see if your shingles are in good shape. If you want them checked out, again, you can give them a call right here, lionsroofingco.com. Family owned right out of Memphis, Indiana. Some good folks there. Michael Long, played some golf with him yesterday. He won the golf scramble out of Western Hills. Congratulations to Michael for beating all the other teams. My team played pretty good, but they went off. They had a good 8 under in 9 holes was their score. So congrats to Michael. He's my insurance agent with American Family. If you want to get a quote, give him a call, 812-578-3072. Not only have they had price reductions in their auto renewals, they've also got other ways that you can get big discounts, like using their app, student discounts, all that stuff. Take advantage of those discounts. Sellersburg Ivy Tech campus, they've got a lot going on out there. If you drive by, there's construction going on. I believe they're building a Baptist Health, like urgent care center, Scholar House. A lot of news coming out of Ivy Tech campus. They're at Highway 311, I-65, 9 miles north of Louisville. Dozens of 2-year certification programs. It's going to be really important to our economy going forward in the workforce in Southern Indiana and in Kentucky. So they've got a lot of opportunities for you or your child. Get that dual credit. Sign up for the DC, the dual credit in high school, and get that free post-secondary college credits, as my kids are doing right now as well. They've got their big Trunk or Treat Fest, October 30th. We'll be talking more about that here over the next week or so. And then our friends at Libs Paving, they've got job openings still. If you want to learn more about their opportunities, you can see I'm scrolling down, libspaving.com, and you can apply online. Thankfully, they've had a good stretch of weather to get more of that paving done across the area. You'll probably see their machinery around, libspaving.com. All right. that's pretty much all I got. If you missed anything, watch the replay, drop in the comments, say hello. If you got a weather question, I'll look back at the comments and just let us know where you're watching from. We'll look at the last few comments here before we wrap it up. 10:50. We've been talking for 50 minutes. And we've got Lily and Lazarus, have a nice day. We had a LOL from my stepmom, Diana. Mary Dale, this 40s look good. And John Fox with a thank you. Thank you for watching as well. Hey, shout out to my buddy Brad Weddington. We just had Wednesdays with Weddington yesterday. Always a fascinating conversation with him. So if you want to look at yesterday's episode, you can check that out. It's on YouTube as well. Extol Media on YouTube. We've got our live show every morning, Ben at 10 a.m. And that is on Extol Weather on Facebook, my page on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, extolmag.com/weather on the World Wide Web. And Christian, we'll wrap it up with you. Bye, meteorologist Ben Peine. Have a good Thursday. Also, almost Friday. Have a good day. Almost the weekend, too. Almost the end of October. Almost November. We're getting there, buddy. We're cruising through this year, 2025. Again, enjoy some fantastic weather here over the next couple of days. We'll be talking more about those big weekend changes on tomorrow's TGIF show. We'll see you then.